Hello, how are you? How is everybody? We are here in our Masters Mondays, and now we call it Graduate Power. We're here with Professor McCrie and Jeremy Larsen, our alumnus. We are so excited to have you here tonight. This is Dean Morote from John Jay Graduate Studies, and we will learn today about Emergency Management Masters. Let me introduce you to Professor McCrie. Professor McCrie has a long story. He began his career actually as a security guard. I mean, that's a long time ago in Toledo, Ohio. And then he went all over he have a career in biology, and now he's a dean on the Masters of Emergency Management. And then we also have our alumnus, Jeremy Larsen. He studied protection management at John Jay, so I don't know, he will tell us how long he finished the master. And he have learned too much was continuing learning. He lost his fellow students, and he is now actually teaching in the Department of Security, Fire, and Emergency Management. So how is everybody today? How is tonight? I know it's a holiday for a lot of, in Canada, it's also a holiday. It's Thanksgiving in Canada. And today we have a lot of holidays because it's Columbus Day to celebrate. So Professor McCrie, let's begin with you. Could you tell us a little bit about your current position and how do you became director on John Jay and your love for security management?
Sure. My current position is I'm professor of the security management at John Jay, and I am the program director for the master's degree in protection management. And this is a degree that has been in existence since about the year 2000. And it started as a degree just for fire science. And then we added security management. And then later, emergency management as well. So it's a degree that goes in these three directions.
Wow. You know, that something interesting is that there is few security management and emergency management masters in the United States. So that actually makes the person more, it's more difficult for people to look for these people. That's the reason you are more marketable. You're more marketable because there's few people who have that masters. And I think that's a very good, I would say in my personal experience, I have a master's in computational finance, that there is few people who have that master's, for example, and that made me highly marketable. The same thing is you have emergency management, protection management. There is few people who have that. So Jeremy, tell us about what are you doing with these masters? Tell us your story, and we want to know what you do with the masters in emergency management.
Well, actually, my master's was in protection management.
Yeah, and because you had like three areas, right?
And that is correct. The department has expanded since I was actually part of it as a student, as an instructor. It's what Professor McCrie had just described. What I am now is I'm the security manager for New York City Environmental Protection. We also know it as DEP, and we provide water for 8 million New Yorkers and 1 million upstate customers, covering 2,000 square miles from Catskill, Delaware County. We have 6,000 employees and contractors all over, all the way down and inside New York City. I am involved in a number of different areas. I do internal consulting. I liaise with stakeholders on security matters, both internal and external. And I develop policies, do risk management. And I've even had the opportunity and pleasure to work with NYPD counterterrorism and the Coast Guard involving DEP assets.
So the masters includes also security and also other kinds of, it seems like you are in like working in two different areas. Like how is that your work?
Well, there's a whole bunch of different sites. I mean, all of New York City's water comes from outside the city.
Wow. Yeah.
So we have sites all the way up where we collect water and transport it down to the city. And there's within the city itself as you get into water distribution. And we also have treatment facilities just before it heads down to the city as well, too. So that's where you're involved. You're involved in different locations, different environments, and different requirements. One of the things I learned in security studying at John Jay was there's never a one-size-fits-all solution. And I'm living that now. Something that applies up in the Catskills doesn't work down in the cities and vice versa. So you have to know and understand your environment.
Wow, this is, so when you were looking for a job, you actually say, okay, let me, yeah. So you were looking for something like that, one of the courses or one of the activities that you learned on John Jay. Professor McCrie, what kind of courses the students receive in these masters to, to find those kind of jobs?
The student will learn general management principles and will learn how to take general management principles and use them not just for security or emergency management, but for any kind of general management application, really. Some of the material we use comes directly from graduate schools of business administration. But since we've got the three specializations in our degree program, the student will learn security management, will learn about fire science, including building requirements and the technology that's involved in fighting fires and mitigating the risks. And there's actually quite a bit that the city does that the average person isn't aware of. And then the third area that's been so prominent in the last 15 years is emergency management. And all organizations need these skills. Every organization of any consequence has protection issues, and we provide managers for them.
That's amazing. So it is an area that really few people know that exists. There is a way to act and lead when there is an emergency, and then there is also all these theories behind that. I think that's fascinating. So Jeremy, could you tell us, do you remember courses that you took that it would be related with your actual job now?
Oh, yes. Several of them that stand out, three of them in particular. One was had to do with building systems and which involves security, fire systems, and the like. One thing I want to say about the program is it wasn't just one-dimensional. They really gave you well-rounded education. And so I say, yeah, security, fire, safety, asset protection is what I generally say the work I'm involved in. You're protecting assets from different types of threats, not just intentional actions. So that was one. Another one was contemporary issues in security management. And that was taught by Professor McCrie. And that constantly kept you reading, kept you studying, kept you saying, because contemporary is contemporary. It keeps changing. It keeps becoming something else. And I would say the last course was the absolute last semester I was at John Jay was on computer security. And that was just when cybersecurity was getting going. And look at what it's turned into now. And so I got a very good background from that course.
So what kind of things for Professor McCrie in the course that you teach, what kind of things is for example, teaching right now in contemporary security?
The kind of students we have, well, I'd say there are four kinds of students. One kind of student is in service, that is to say, working for government right now, and is at a good position in his or her career. And a master's degree will help the individual move to higher administrative responsibility. The second category of a student is someone who works in the private industry and realizes that a master's degree will help him or her understand more what the mind of the manager is looking for, and will help that individual be broader in aiding the organization. The third type is someone in working for government who's anticipating retirement. And the degree will help this person segue into a new career, perhaps consulting or in the industry in some way. And the last student that I think of is someone who has recently received a bachelor's degree. They're interested in the field of security, emergency management, fire science, but they're not sure quite where they would like to fit in. So the master's degree, it gives them further exposure to the materials that are relevant in this degree program, and gives them the time to make contacts, become broader aware of the issues that are taking place in the field, and move on to a more solid career commitment as a result of that.
Wow. So Jeremy, I have talking about the kinds of students. You are also now a professor. Do you see those kinds of students, or what kinds there's a new trend of, there is a new need in the industry of a specific area?
Yes, last semester I taught business continuity to graduate students. It was a very small class, but each student had something different. They were all different in what they were studying and what they were pursuing. Building on that this semester with undergraduate students, it's a number of them are different varieties. I have a few older students who are working into second careers. And then we have people that are 21, getting ready to start their life, their professional work life. So they're working towards that. So I have at least two different types of camps that I have students in. And you have to focus your teaching that reaches both of them in some way, that they can get something out of it.
They have to learn from the masters. Now I receiving a question from the student. They asked me what kind of bachelors they should have to enter to the masters. The specific bachelors you recommend?
Actually, no. We're welcome any student with a bachelor's degree. The student requires a GPA of 3.0 or higher. The student is encouraged to provide a reference or two references, and additionally a statement of why at that point they're interested in pursuing the major. That's all it's required.
Yes, that's very simple. So what bachelors do you have, Jeremy, when you enter to the masters? Tell us how you decided to say, hey, I will do a master's in this topic.
Well, I'm a native New Yorker, and I lived here all my life except for 4 years at college. I went to SUNY Albany. I got a political science degree. When I got out, the economy was not very good, and job market was tight. So I ended up taking a job as a guard at the Cloisters, which is part of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I liked it, but I really had no direction in it. And the manager at the time told me about, you need to expand your education. You got to give yourself more opportunities. And there was also an assistant manager at the time who was actually going to John Jay. He'd gotten his bachelor's degree there and was pursuing his master's. And so I applied, I tried, got in, and I always said when I got past the first midterm, then I knew I belonged there, and I needed to work and get it done, and I did. And I worked full time while I got my master's.
You see, you can do it, guys. You can do it full time. Do you do it online or in presence?
Oh, this was when I went there. There was no online.
Yeah,
It was
but
all
now online versions of the American masters. So that's good. So you did it on time, online. So it's doable. It's really doable.
We're very proud of people like Jeremy, because he's an epitome of our program. Coming into it, not quite sure where his career is going to lead him, but with a degree, he was able to see opportunities and actually have an opportunity to move into what has become his current position. So the John Jay environment really helped, if I may say so. Mr. Larsen, you're making that transition, and that's what a good program does for people.
I think so. Yeah, I'm very proud of Jeremy Larsen. You really are a John Jay son, and we are very happy to have you today. And learning all the things that you have done and have moved. I mean, this is a lot, and you know, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people are here. You know, they're texting me, trying to figure out, you know, how they can do these masters, how they can be there. We actually have registrations coming soon. They're asking about the extracurricular activities. Do you have time to participate in extracurricular activities, on, I don't know, networking events, or what do you? They wanted to know your life when you were a student.
Well, things are somewhat tight. I mean, you do have to dedicate your time to studying and working. You got to be a very good manager of your time. So can I say you can still have fun? Yes, you can. But you got to remember you're there to get an education first. And you're not just working for your grades. You are working for your life, for your profession, for what comes afterwards. You always got to think about what comes next and what you're aiming towards. Not just getting a degree. A degree is a piece of paper. It's what you learn, and it's what you take away from it is what matters. So that's where it is. So yeah, I did go on vacations. I did socialize with people. You know, that happened all the way through, for sure. One of the things I will tell you that happened at John Jay, when you talk about extra stuff, was extra value in the career and in learning of security, was they got us to the ACES International trade show and convention. And we got to participate, you know, in small ways by handing stuff out, but we got to liaise, interact. We got to sit down with people. So it was very good and valuable that way. I still go to that trade show, obviously not with the pandemic now, but it's not happening. But I have gone pretty much every year since then. And it's been quite a while since I went to John Jay.
That's very nice. That's very nice, because we always have to be in contact with the field, you know, what they're doing and learning about research and things like that is important. Now, talking about that, Dr. McCrie, how they finish the class? Like they have like a thesis, or they do a test? How is this master finish?
Yes, thanks for that question, because a lot of students coming into a master's program want to know. The vast majority of students simply take courses, and they take a comprehensive examination. First, let me talk about the courses. There is a group of required courses in skills, looking at the 3 areas that I mentioned a few minutes ago. Then there are the specialized courses: security management, emergency management, or fire science, and then electives. So that's the tradition for most students. However, there's something more. Additionally, there is a comprehensive examination that the students take, which is very topical. It changes each semester. And it's a super analysis of a contemporary question. This comprehensive examination is scored blind by senior faculty members, and passing that is a requirement of the degree. Now, there's another track as well. Instead of taking that comprehensive examination, a student could elect to do a thesis. But not many people do that. If they do take the thesis, they are excused from taking the comp and will be under a faculty member's supervision for 2 semesters. And then we'll produce a thesis of such quality that it's put in our library for others to learn from. I have had only one student who's chosen that thesis direction, and she was a delight to work with, but it's not the route that most students choose.
That's very nice. So Jeremy, what route do you choose? Do you remember? How long ago you graduated?
I finished in the spring of '99.
Oh,
So,
that's a lot of years ago.
yeah, or Y2K. So
yeah. So there is another question. I just received another question. The students are asking about the gender. Is this like a male-oriented? There is a females in the master's right now. I would assume yes, but somebody asked that question.
Yes, of course. There are enormous opportunities for women in this degree. Consider that the programs require both men and women to function adequately. So women have great opportunities in this field. It wasn't that way when I began years ago. It emphatically is that way today. Jeremy Larsen mentioned a few minutes ago ASIS International, which John Jay has a warm relationship with. This organization has had female presidents. So women play important roles in the field of security, and this degree can help women achieve it.
That's very nice. Do you see people, females in your profession right now in your workplace, Jeremy? I assume yes, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So we have 5 minutes. We will enjoy so much, and the time is flying. Let me ask you, Jeremy, what a piece of advice you will give it to students who are the first year masters? What you will advise to the students who are already in the masters?
I would say very much so. You really have to think past the present moment. You are building for your future. And it's very important now that you establish a framework, not only where you want to go, but able to get the skills you need. And what I'm not saying, I don't want to be simplistic about this. What I want to say is you have to know what you're good at, what you're not good at. And that's one of the greatest discoveries I find in life. And it's okay not to be good at something. You're good at something else. What I will also say is there's no magic formula. There's no 7 ways to reach the top, 7 ways to be super successful. There's not a formula for doing it. The formula is work, but building your foundation and being able to develop and adjust as things come along. The main thing is having that solid foundation, and you're working for beyond. That's your investment. It's years from now, not just getting through the semester. You have to see beyond.
I love it. You know what's happening is everybody's looking for a success formula, and there is none. You know, it's really you work as much as you can and find your passion. That's true. You just need to work it out and find your way. Find your way, and then you will do that. People are asking, what is ASA? ASA, you mentioned a conference.
It used to stand for the American Society for Industrial Security, but now it's a global organization, so we refer to it just by its initials, ASIS International. They have a wonderful meeting at the Javits Center each year, and we involve as many students in that meeting as we possibly can to be surrounded by security activity.
Now I'm looking forward to being in that meeting. I can picture myself going to that meeting. So Professor McCrie, the same question, what advice you will give it to the students in the first year?
Mr. Larsen gave some good advice a moment ago. I would add to it that start seriously. The courses move fast. They're intensive. You have great freedom as a student, but you have goals to reach, and you need to reach those goals. Frankly, my students do reach those goals, but some do it with a rhythm that creates less stress than others experience. So watch for those goals, and particularly in those early courses, make them priorities, and put your best into each of the courses that you take, and you'll be adequately rewarded.
Thank you very much. And we are getting at the end. I want to thank you, Professor McCrie, Dr. McCrie, for being at this time. I know it's a holiday. Mr. Jeremy Larsen, we are so happy. I'm very proud of you. And we are so proud of you that we asked you to teach for us. So you actually continue training our new generation of masters in emergency management, security management, and all these three areas that we have. And they're very important right now for the students. With that, I just want to close the interview and wish you the best. And remember, students, the message is you have to have a framework, you have to have goals, and there is no formula for being successful. So you just have to go and look for that. And networking is very important as well. Okay, so I will see you next Monday.